The 2024 USL Championship regular season comes to an end tonight in Louisville. Two sides that have punched their tickets to the playoffs await results around the rest of the league. For Lou City to find out their opponent, Phoenix to find out their position. Michael Watringen, former Manchester United keeper, Gary Bailey with you tonight as we get set for kickoff between Lou City and Phoenix. And for the first time in club history, Lou City, the Players' Shield winners.
And well deserved. I mean, they've been scoring goals from all sorts of players. That's Sam Gleadle, the one before, Wilson Harris, Jake Morris getting a shot in there. There's 16 different scorers this season. There's Jansen Wilson against Pittsburgh, sticking one in the back of the net. Ray Serrano here from out wide. So what a season this team has had.
They can become the third team in league history to win a record 24 matches. They're 15-1 at home. We go through superlatives all night. It's been an unbelievable year so far.
Absolutely unbelievable. There's a whole bunch of other records we could go to, but that 23 wins, if they can get it, they'll match San Antonio's record and also Phoenix's record back in 2019.
The Eastern Conference table a little bit muddy at the bottom. We know that Lou City is the #1 seed, but who will they play? Entering the night, there are 5 teams jockeying for those final 2 positions. Pittsburgh, as we come on the air, has a lead. North Carolina is behind Las Vegas. Loudoun behind Charleston. We'll try to sort through everything as we go through the night. But Phoenix on the other side, the champions last year. They weren't one of the higher seeds a year ago, and they're not right now this season.
They're not, but they managed to get goals. Fede Varela getting goals there, gets one, and Derek Formella has got a whole bunch of them this season. That one against Orange County at home. They've had some good saves from their goalkeeper, Rocco Rios Novo. He's a good sort of agile keeper. Look at that save, getting down very low. And then again, Derek Formella back of the net. So both ends of the pitch, they've had their moments this season, have Phoenix rising.
In the Western Conference, we know every team that is in the field. All 8 are there. Will Phoenix be the #8 seed, or will they improve upon that spot here tonight with more games to come later this evening? It's the final game of the USL Championship regular season. Lou City go for the record 24th win of the season against one of the 2 teams that have won 24 matches in the history of the league. When we return, it's the starting 11s and the kickoff in the final regular season match of the season.
Wandering son returns. The older brother, who's been away from the family for over 1,000 days, is back. A little bolder, more sophisticated, stronger yet leaner. The all-new Land Cruiser resumes its place alongside the new, more dynamic Tacoma, the powerful Tundra, the legendary 4Runner, and the full-size adventuring Sequoia to reunite Toyota's 5 brothers. The family that plays together stays together. Toyota, let's go places.
You ready to lose?
Oh, you wish. Let's go.
It's time to power up your old checking account. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union created Power Checking. This incredible all-in-one account powers your spending and with built-in high-yield savings grows your balance at the same time. No minimums, no limits, just unparalleled benefits.
Best 2 out of 3.
Let's go.
Get to the next level with Power Checking, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Hi, I'm Teresa Bachman. The inventory is back at Bachman Volkswagen. With great selection at great prices, Volkswagen has models for everyone, starting with a new Jetta as low as $21,760. Tiguan has style, versatility, and power with 0% for 60 months and $500 owner loyalty. Get the VW Atlas, 7 seats and safety with a $3,000 rebate or 2.9% for 60 months. Come in to Bachman Volkswagen today.
How do you get your news?
Is WDRB the soundtrack to your morning routine?
Or you can scroll on the go with the WDRB News app.
If you've already cut the cord, start streaming our news on WDRB+.
Maybe you like to read a more in-depth story and you use WDRB.com.
When weather's the biggest story of your day, the WDRB Weather app has video forecasts and radar.
However you choose to get your news, WDRB is the source.
Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Lou City, including our player profile tonight, presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Wilson Harris leads this high potent side with 17 goals.
Yeah, 6 changes to the Lou City team that drew against San Antonio. All the first team players coming back. Kyle Adams back, Adrian Perez, Elijah Winder, Aidan McFadden, Wilson Harris, as you mentioned, Ray Serrano, Arturo Ordonez injured, and McCabe, Wilson, and Goodrum Gliedel all on the bench.
And the starting 11 for Phoenix has this group out there, including Tomas Angel up top.
3 changes to the Phoenix side that lost at home to Memphis. In comes Mo Traore, Pop Boy not available. Edgardo Rita on the right-hand side for Darius Johnson, who's down to the bench. And Joel Margarita replaces Derek Formello, who goes to the bench. So it's a 4-1-4-1 shape, as you mentioned. Angel up front. He's the sort of lone ranger for Phoenix Rising.
So we are ready to roll here tonight in Louisville. It is Lou City and Phoenix Rising for this matchup this evening. Jeremy Shears, our official, and we are underway in the final regular season game of 2024. Great to have you with us. Michael Watcher and Gary Bailey and our team with you here in Louisville. Lou City wearing the purple, Phoenix wearing the red. Fascinating matchup, Gary, because both teams know that they're in the playoffs. Lou City knows that they're the #1 seed. Phoenix can move maybe a little bit, but they need help in order for that to happen. So what we see in this match is maybe a little bit of a question as we enter the night.
Yeah, I think most of it's about the form. And chatting to Danny Cruz, his team have been unbelievable since they qualified. 3 wins, 2 draws. They've scored in the dying moments to hold on to that unbeaten record in recent games. And I think that's what they want to do, is take in that fighting form into the playoffs, as do Phoenix, who, by the way, seem to be better when they're struggling. They've only had 2 wins in the last 6, but both are when they needed to get them, both away from home against New Mexico and Oakland. And that's how they won the championship last year, on the road, fighting those away games. For Danny Cruz, it'll be home at Lynn Family Stadium for every game, should they proceed.
Danny Cruz telling us that he's approaching this just like any other match. Business as usual, wanting to take care of business on the home field. Get a 16th home win of the season, as well as that record-tying 24th overall win in 2024. Kyle Adams drifts forward, cuts it out wide. Morris lines it up. Winder lofts this ball, right-hand side. The header comes back through the middle. Harris tries to get space. Buenmayor chops it away. Only once this season, Lou City have scored fewer than 2 goals at home. That was a 1-0 win against Loudoun at the beginning of September. Perez. It's a good crowd here tonight in Louisville, Kentucky for this matchup. Charlie Dennis takes it away.
It's a good test for Lou City, because this Phoenix side don't give much away. 2nd best defense in the West, just 35 goals conceded. Only problem for Phoenix, though, they score less than a goal a game, 32 and 33. So scoring seems to be their problem. But they're a hard side to break down. They like to hold possession. So again, sort of perfect playoff scenario for Lou City. You're against a team that are normally good with their backs to the wall. How do you break them down? It's perfect practice for both sides going into the playoffs.
And it's a fascinating matchup too, because being an interconference matchup, you know that this matchup would not happen until the final if that were to occur. So no sense in trying to hold anything back here as Morris, advantage played, Serrano punches it in. Harris swings the leg and whistles it wide right.
Wow, that was close from Wilson Harris. What a good turn. What a good battle to get that ball into him as well. And he knew he had a chance. He was just falling as he turned and just hooked it wide of goal. But that's the danger of the man who's 2nd in the Golden Boot race. But credit here the fighting of Jake Morris, and then Ray Serrano with a flick inside. Not tight enough there. I don't think Mo Traore allows Wilson Harris to turn. Lucky to get away with that one, Phoenix.
Well, for Louisville, there are a variety of matchups that could be played in their 1v8 in the East. Charleston, after giving up an equalizer to Loudoun, are back in front 2-1. Pittsburgh is throttling El Paso in the first half hour, 2-0. North Carolina have pulled one back against Las Vegas. It's 1-1. We'll get into some of the possible scenarios at halftime as the flag up here for offside. Commonwealth Credit Union, to learn more about how we could help you meet your financial goals, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. That is WeSeeYouDifferently.com. Tonight's weather report brought to you by Advanced ENT. 60 degrees. It's a nice fall day. Some wind and no rain expected.
I guess the guys from Phoenix enjoyed a little bit of cool weather, don't they?
As long as it's not too cool. Very nice road trip here for the end of October.
Just seeing Kyle Adams and Elijah Winder, two of those players that were rested completely, didn't get any minutes in the last match. A couple of players just got 20 minutes, Aidan McFadden, Wilson Harris, Ray Serrano and Adrian Perez. Amadou Dia just 7 minutes, he's on the bench. So nice rest for those Lou City players last time out.
Rito charges forward. Rito lasers this across. It's laid back. Dennis can't get the first angle. Swings it over. Wyke. Rito right back for Wyke. Wyke tosses it through the middle. A second go at it. It gets ricocheted out by Tosh. Cuejo chips this ball all the way across and just over the top of the head of Angel. But a nice little surge there for Phoenix.
That was the combination that got the breakthrough against Oakland Roots. Cuejo with a pass back to Angel, who headed it into the net. This one a little bit too high for Angel. He's not the tallest of strikers. Very good technically at his feet. He's going to struggle to beat the likes of Kyle Adams in the air, what you would think.
Take a look at Damian Loss, the goalkeeper for Lou City. Won a championship last year in MLS Next Pro with Austin FC. And Danny Cruz saying he's really proud of his development. Here's space on the left-hand side. Morris hits this first time. Rios Novo pockets that. It's been a good 2-year run for the 22-year-old keeper.
He's had some fantastic saves, a bunch of clean sheets, 12 of them. Did make a couple of high-profile errors against Las Vegas, dropping a very simple ball, and he felt down about that. Then Monterey Bay, they lost, so the whole team went through a bit of a dip there, but he's bounced back in style, has Rocco Rios Novo. Such a good reflex keeper.
Lou City back on the charge. Cutting it to the right. His cross gets knocked away after Taylor Davila tried to get some space, and it's the first corner of the night for Lou City. It's a Wi-Fi corner.
Well, they scored from a corner against San Antonio. That was Philip Goodrum, who was very good in the air, but the quality of ball coming in from Lou City is normally top class. Let's see what happens here.
Davila tied for the team lead with 6 assists this year. Curls this ball. It's going to the back post. It's knocked down. Second chance from Adams gets pushed away. Switching field. Some chance here for Phoenix. Rito's open on this right side. Rito wants it. Rito on the breakaway. Rito tosses it back over. Margarita finishes. Phoenix have the opener in transition in the 8th minute. The Rising lead 1-0.
That's a fantastic counter-attack. You can see how fed up Damian Lass is with that, but they were left too exposed there, Lou City. You've got to keep some numbers back when you get a corner, just in case this happens. And you have a look. Jake Morris does well with initial head. Kyle Adams has a crack. The ball gets cleared. Now, where's the numbers back for Lou City? And it was just Adrian Perez, literally on his wall, and Ray Serrano, the two of them. And there's a red wave comes their way. Got a Rito. Now, this is so clever. Rather than try and beat the keeper, he just puts that ball in perfectly for Joel Margarita to stick it in the back of the net. That's unselfish play from Rito, and it works out perfectly for Phoenix Rising.
Margarita scores for the 2nd time this year for Phoenix. And the Rising have leapt in front of the Players' Shield winners right off of a corner kick to expose the boys in purple.
It was a corner kick that nearly ended up with a goal for Lou City. Jake Morris with a header got blocked. Kyle Adams with a shot got blocked. So a little bit lucky perhaps for Phoenix Rising, but didn't they take their opportunity so well? And as we say, when they've got their backs to the wall, this side, Phoenix Rising, as they showed in winning the championship last year, they're a very tough side to beat. Funny thing is, at home, the record recently hasn't been very good. Really have battled to get results, losing to Memphis last time at home and to Monterey Bay before that in Las Vegas. I think it's 3 losses on the trot now at home. Very unlike Phoenix, but just gives credence to the fact that they love to be the underdog and they love to be under pressure.
Lou City have given up an opening goal at home for the 6th time this season. They've won 4 of the first 5, so they have that ability to come back. Phoenix on the other side, 10 wins, 2 losses when they score first. What a start this is. Phoenix, the 5th lowest goal scoring team in the league this year, but they have a 1-0 edge against Lou City in a place where Louisville has only lost once all year. That was that Rhode Island match on June 22nd, where Rhode Island came in here and boat raced Lou City 5-2. 10 minutes gone by here in the final regular season match of the USL Championship year. 1-0 Rising out in front on Margarita's second goal of this, second goal of the season. Michael watching Gary Bailey with you. Darting to the middle, now stopping. Margarita again. This ball tucks outside for a throw rather than a corner.
Talking of Margarita, Coach Danny Cruz just said that's one of the players they fear most at Lou City, because his pace. And the important thing for Margarita is he's playing for a playoff spot. He's got a bit of competition off the bench, Darius Johnson being one of them. Agata Rita also playing for a start-off berth. And I've got a funny feeling they might have put their name down for next week's playoff game, because what a good combination to score that goal.
Well, what did Danny Cruz tell us when we talked to him a couple days ago? The one thing that he's been focused on in training has been defending. Felt like at times this year they have given up goals that maybe he would like to see them be a little tighter on this season, and with the way that they want to play, and they give up 1 in the first 10 minutes of this match.
And it's a confusing one for me, because when it comes to a set piece like a corner, you throw up a certain number of players, but you always keep back enough. Now, they only had 2 players back, and that was Serrano and Perez. And I'm thinking, well, is that enough? And if it's not, then you need to get somebody else back to help you very quickly.
Phoenix have found a bolt of confidence now. On the overlap, it's Wyke weaving this ball in. It takes 1 ricochet off of Dennis before being cleared away by Lou City. Phoenix can rise to the number 6 seed in the West with a win and an Oakland loss, plus an Orange County draw or loss against Hartford. Those matches won't come up until the nightcaps tonight in the league.
I just wonder if it bothers Phoenix Rising. Obviously they want to win this game just for the form of it, but where they end up, if they end up 8th and play New Mexico, well, they beat them 2 weeks ago away in New Mexico, so I don't think they're really bothered whether it's New Mexico, Colorado Springs, Sac Republic. But I guess they want to win just for the momentum going into the playoffs.
And certainly New Mexico has not been the team that they were at the start of the year. They haven't quite been in that same run of form that they were that got them the number 1 seed in the West.
100%. They haven't won for the last 4 matches. And Charleston Battery, funny enough, haven't won for the last 3, which shows you when teams qualify for the playoffs, there's normally a bit of a dip, yet you don't have the same need to win. The one team that's the exception to that rule has been Lou City. They've just kept winning, kept drawing tough away matches. Ordonez's winning goal in the 96th minute, the overhead kick against Tampa Bay. I mean, it was just a crazy, brilliant game, but it showed you Lou City, even though they've qualified, they keep fighting game after game. So certainly wouldn't write off the boys in purple at the moment.
Tampa Bay have jumped in front of Indy in that matchup. There's one scenario that would have Lou City against Tampa Bay, but it would require a whole bunch of work to be done for that to be the 1 versus 8 in the East. And if Tampa Bay win, that would nullify that conversation. Well, the game has completely changed since that goal. Lou City was flexing its muscle, and now all of a sudden it's Phoenix that have the grasp of possession.
And important for some of these Lou City players, although this is probably the starting lineup with the exception of Ordonez coming back if he's available. I think the same for Phoenix with the exception of Pop Marboy if he's available. But there's so much talent on the Lou City bench that if anyone here today doesn't put in a good shift, they can call up some real talent from the bench. Lou City, Philip Goodrum being one of those players who could get a start. Jansen Wilson, Sam Kleedel, Amadou Dia. Wow, Manny Perez back on the bench for the first time in a long time. So what talent for Lou City.
The ball went out of play out here near midfield, so it's a throw. In the aftermath of both hurricanes Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how to get involved, scan the QR code or visit uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. And excuse me, it turned out to be a foul rather than a throw-in. So Lou City reignite action. Quarter hour gone by in the final regular season match of the year. Two teams have won 24 matches in the history of the league. 2019 Phoenix, 2022 San Antonio. Lou City looking to join them tonight, but trailing 1-0.
If we have a spare 5 minutes, we can go through the records that Lou City have set this year, because there is a whole ton of them. It's just been the most phenomenal season. One of the best in the history of the USL by any team, but we'll drop in those records bit by bit as the game goes on.
It's a Wi-Fi corner here for Lou City. Ray Serrano curls this ball in. It's one glancing header, and then Adrian Perez tries to slide after it on the back post after Harris got the initial piece, and it trickles out for a goal kick.
That's another corner and another very close chance for Lou City. Phoenix Rising got to be careful here in dealing with this. I think it's Aidan McFadden who gets up, and he's so close to putting that in the back of the net. And that's two corners, two good chances. If you keep giving Lou City chances like that, Phoenix Rising, eventually they're going to take one of them.
Fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty if the boys in purple win. No purchase necessary. The offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's location to redeem. And I'd imagine those Wendy's locations have been quite busy all year long with 23 wins in the bank. Jake Morris arcs this ball around. It comes back out. Serrano knocks it down. Serrano's shot trickles past one defender and it gets cleared. Serrano resets, arcs that ball around two defenders. Morris prefers that left foot. Winder.
You can see Phoenix Rising very deep in their final third. There are lots of red shirts getting behind the ball.
Harris, the intended target of that first ball. Phoenix clear it to midfield, and it's taken right back, though, for one moment before Angel springs another counter. Rito is open on this side. That's how the goal was scored in the 8th minute. More defenders back this time around. Margarita. Dennis hits it first time. Loss cradles.
Dennis has scored a couple of goals in recent games. That one wasn't one of his better strikes, but he can do it really well in the last match. In fact, just towards the end of the game against Memphis, he smashed one against the crossbar from just outside the box and scored away at New Mexico. So he's in good shooting form, but I think that one he'll probably put down just a little bit of a mishit.
Dennis last year had 11 goals with Tampa Bay. I know that he has that in the pocket. Once again, Morris charges through. Once a foul, will not get the whistle. Sitting right in front there was Jeremy Shear with a front row seat. Dennis winds this one up across the field. Tosh pilfers for a moment. Morella. Varela. Pressure But slaloms past two, lifts this in. A timely poke by Wes Sharpie.
Hull went down, Dennis went down there. It's like a little bumping going on in the 18-yard box. All started, by the way, with a header from Tosh that didn't go to one of his teammates, and playing out of the back there under no pressure, given away and in trouble.
Serrano with two defenders. Well, I'll tell you what, 20 minutes into this one, very much the feel of a playoff game, and not two teams that are playing for maybe just a little here tonight. Lou City looking for the record-tying 24th win. Phoenix looking to elevate its playoff position to number 6. Gerald Margarita scoring in the 8th minute on a counterattack off a Lou City corner. Has Phoenix out in front 1-0. Michael Wattrain, Gary Bailey, and our team with you here in Louisville, Kentucky for the final regular season game of the USL Championship year. There's drama throughout the league, and it's getting late for Loudoun if they're to make their miraculous push. They continue to trail 2-1 against Charleston on the road. Otherwise, Loudoun would be out, and the final 2 positions in the league would come down to 3 teams.
Good pressure here from Lou City. Look at them. Don't give Rocco Rios Nova much chance to breathe.
And he throws it right to Morris. Morris winds up, and Flen Mayor gets his body in front. Winder eyes some space, cuts this in. Zambrano carries it out, and Phoenix can breathe for just a second.
So good under pressure, Phoenix, but if this pressure lasts for 90 minutes, you've got to expect them to crack at some stage. Important for them to get on the ball as they're doing now, hold some possession, sort of work their way up the pitch, and not give the ball away under this sort of pressure that Lou City apply. Look at this, Serrano forcing that just big boot up the pitch.
And Serrano has it now, cuts it to the right-hand side. Perez looks for space. It's Serrano chipping this one wide left.
And that's exactly the problem. They can't play out Phoenix Rising. They get put under pressure. There's the big high ball knocked up. Comes back. There's a nice interplay here. Comes back to Serrano. Tries to hit it. Well, he does hit it with his left foot, but doesn't quite settle himself. Doesn't get the bend on the ball into that far post. Got to do better with that, Ray Serrano. Got to at least hit target.
This portion of tonight's match presented by Toyota and the Kentuckiana Toyota dealers. Lou City has 6 shots. None have been on target so far, however. Perez pivots around one defender. And yet again, the charge can be brought forward. McFadden. Flag stays down, cutting it back through the middle. Perez lifts this one over the top, or check that was Serrano rather, and lifts it over the top of everybody. And the inaccuracy early for Lou City, allowing Phoenix to dodge some of these early chances.
Elijah Winder was waiting in the central position, had his arms out when Ray Serrano hit that, as if to say, I was a better placed player, just knock it to me, give me the chance. Ray Serrano, give him credit, he's hit the back of the net 7 times this season, 5 assists, so if he feels confident, I'm sure Danny Cruz will say go for it, but to your point, got to start hitting target now.
Well, Las Vegas scored first at North Carolina, but former Lou City player Paco Craig and now Olex Anderson have scored, and North Carolina have jumped in front of Las Vegas, so that means Rhode Island still to play tonight. That match starts in about an hour, have dipped to number 8. Adams swings this in. Harris touches it down. Harris strikes it and pummels the net. Lou City equalize on Harris's 18th goal of the year.
What a brilliant strike. Nothing that Rocco Rios Novo can do about that. And we were saying the pressure's been building. There's been too many opportunities. The quality of the strike force of Lou City is just too good, and they're going to take something eventually. But what a fantastic way that he takes it. Adams with the ball in, kills the ball stone dead, turns and buries that in the top corner. That's a top-class finish. Have a look at this. Takes it and in one move turns, hits it, and finds that near that top corner. That is a brilliant finish there from Wilson Harris. And Yep, if there was any doubt about him starting in the playoffs and Philip Goodrum getting in, I just think that is just made up Danny Cruz's mind. Wilson Harris is his go-to man for the playoffs.
That goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. The Kentucky Lottery. Well, so few teams have had any bit of defensive success against this Louisville side. Lou City has only been shut out twice this year and haven't been since July. Here comes Angel, though, as he rips one from long range, and it harmlessly skims the grass out wide right.
We said we'd mentioned some of those records. This is now the 16th straight game they have scored, which is an extension of their existing club record. And they've scored in 32 of 34 games. It is just phenomenal. And I tell you what, that's some goal as well. That's not just a little tap in or that the first touch from Wilson Harris, the turn, and he puts it right in the top corner. That's a golazo when you think of the first touch and the finish combined. Brilliant from Wilson Harris.
And it's the 35th first half goal of the season. To put that in perspective, Phoenix have scored 33 goals all season long. But they're eyeing another go-ahead strike. This pass might have been pumped off of the foot of Cuejo. Damian Loss is out to get it. Here's an important piece for Lou City in the postseason is Damian Loss, the youngster coming over from MLS Next Pro, still just 22 years of age. He's going to be key for this group come postseason time. But another chance here for Lou City in transition. Perez trying to find space. Perez hits this hard, and it gets swept away and out for a corner kick.
It's just attack after attack, isn't it? And perfect for Phoenix Rising in terms of getting ready for what's going to come on these away matches as Perez has that effort blocked. They're going to be away from home certainly in the first round and probably all the way as they were last year. So it's a great build-up for coach Diego Gomez, exactly what he would want from this particular match.
Wi-Fi corner for Ray Serrano, right in front of Mario and Luigi. Fans always make great noise here at Lynn Family Stadium. Sherman Tosh and Alejandro Fuenmayor discussing evening plans with Jeremy Shear.
This happens at every set piece, every corner. I don't even know why the referees have to talk to them. Just let them go ahead. If they want to foul, you give a penalty.
Serrano hits this low. It doesn't make it to the first man. Serrano retreats and gets to the second one. Over his shoulder, Davila bangs it off the body of Wyke. When you played, were there a lot of those stoppage like that with the referee, or is that something that's newer?
I think it's more newer. I think the referees are trying to avoid giving penalties by having that discussion, but it's the only time that I regularly see referees discuss it. So why? If someone breaks the rules, you're going to call it. And it happens virtually every game. That's why I'm sort of looking at it going, really, do you have to? But to be fair to the referees, they're trying to avoid problems. So I guess credit to them.
Serrano arcs this one a little bit higher this time. Harris trying to get to that second ball. Sharpie's back there to recover. Perez loops this ball around. It's Harris again! Wilson Harris with his second goal in less than 5 minutes. Lou City out in front, 2-1.
Again, nothing Rocco Rios Novo can do about that. It's a fantastic ball whipped in. It's got nice bend in it. Wilson Harris just meets it perfectly, guides it into the back of the net. And that sort of pressure with balls coming in from all those angles, eventually something's going to work. When you've got this quality of Adrian Perez, cuts back here, bends it, it's bending in towards goal, but it's got pace. There were two at the near post. Elijah Winder was also there, so if Wilson Harris doesn't get it, Winder does. They've got numbers in the box, they've got crosses in the box. Eventually, another one was going to hit the back of the net, and they are just on fire, Lou City.
Harris's third double-digit goal-scoring campaign of his career. He now has 68 goals in USL Championship regular season matches. That's 10th all-time. And he scores in the span of 4 minutes. And just like that, the early lead for Phoenix erased.
It's a wonderful cross from Adrian Perez. That's his 7th assist. What's amazing is the most assists in the USL this year is currently 9. There are 4 players with 6 just on Lou City's side. Jake Morris, Perez now with 7, Adam McFadden, Taylor Davila, and Ray Serrano's got 5. He's just 1 behind. All of that comes on one team. And the most in the entire league is only a few more at 9. It's just a phenomenal number of goals, assists, attacking play, and we've had a good example of it here in these first 30 minutes.
18 different players have recorded at least 1 assist this year for Louisville, but Phoenix looking for an equalizer as this ball shuffled across. Adams heads the first. Dennis is waiting for it. His volley strike whiffs. How many times this year has Lou City done exactly what we're watching? Scoring goals for fun. They've won 10 of their 23 matches this season by multiple goals. And they lead 2-1 as we close in on the half-hour mark of this match. Margarita put Phoenix up 1-0 in the 8th minute. A bit of a distant memory after Harris scores twice in the span of 5 minutes for Lou City. Here in the final match of the regular season, Louisville looking to level Phoenix and San Antonio for the single season wins record. It would be number 24 if they win tonight. Michael Watra and Gary Bailey and our team with you here this evening in the Commonwealth. Welcome to the fans watching this game on WBKI, the official broadcast home for Louisville City FC.
Chatting to Danny Cruz, and he said this team of his is amazing because they're just a bunch of winners. He said they go behind, they will fight back, they will keep fighting right until the end, and that's what they keep doing, and there's no need to. They've got the points in the bag.
Rito tosses it in.
Just to go back to some of those games in which they've fought back. Indy 11, a 94th minute Jake Morris goal to get a 2-2 draw.
This ball is lined in by Morris, and it nearly found the near side netting, but Rios Novo reactions to punch that away.
It just comes off Fuenmayor, the goalkeeper so sharp there. But again, you're putting balls in dangerous areas and not just chipping them in, driving them in. Doesn't give defenders and goalkeepers much time to react, and that's the quality of the service coming in from the boys in purple.
Corner kicks have been prevalent early, and they've led to goal-scoring chances for both sides. It's the 5th corner and another Wi-Fi corner. Serrano boomerangs this ball. He gets to the 2nd phase. McFadden nods. Bicycled out of there. Serrano has some more space. Slings it over. Morris. Just over the top of McFadden. Perez twirls. Perez launches. Now Adams trickles one in. Harris is offside. That'll nullify that goal, as Harris was standing in an offside spot. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
Zambrano trying to play through this high press, but the Lou City team are all over Phoenix Rising. They do get the free kick. Freddie Varela just able to take some pressure off for the Rising at the moment. Much needed breather.
Not just for the players, but for us. This has been an incredible pace to start off this match, as most are here in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, tidying things up, Charleston have held on to beat Loudoun, so Loudoun eliminated from postseason contention. Pittsburgh lead El Paso 2-0, North Carolina 2-0 against Las Vegas, and Tampa Bay 2-0 against Indy 11. So, might come down to that Rhode Island matchup against Miami. Kickoff slated in the next 45 minutes from Rhode Island.
I would presume that means Hartford are out, because they needed results to go their way. And that'll be tough for them. They've had a really good run recently. They felt that they went with a chance of just scraping in, but if the teams in front of them all won, then they'd be out.
Hartford still has a chance if either Pittsburgh or North Carolina unable to win their matches. Here's Harris galloping through, and his pass gets intercepted.
But assuming those results hold as they are, then it's goodbye to Hartford. I think the bottom line for Loudoun and Hartford and teams, even like San Antonio in the West, is if you leave it up to the final day in the hope of getting a result and you don't get the result, that's pretty much on you. You need to get the points in the bag earlier, like Rhode Island have done, like Tampa Bay Rowdies have done, and like Phoenix Rising have done.
Rito stampedes through the middle. Dennis right back. Rito shoots this ball. Loss comes up with a big save to preserve the lead.
Excellent save from Damian Lass there. Rito once again broken through. Such a good player on his day. Edgardo Rito, with Damian Lass making a vital save, as he's done most of the season. He's been real solid at the back for Lou City.
75 saves this year for Damian Lass. Taking that step up from Austin FC 2. Danny Cruz admitted that perhaps the speed at times a tick quicker, but here in October, you're seeing those reactions start to match up with this level for the 22-year-old keeper.
He spent some time in Fulham in London in England and spent a while there playing in the youth teams and learning the trades. He's got some good coaching and experience behind him, has Damian Lass.
Here's a foul. Another look at what Damian Lass just did, but it's a great run from Rito again.
It is. Lovely 1-2 with Charlie Dennis, and the goalkeeper just making himself big and strong. Spreads the legs wide, puts his arms out, and just makes the biggest block that he can, and it really works well there. Keeps his team in the lead.
Dennis chips this ball. It gets intercepted by Davila. Dennis looks for space. Phoenix about a possession now after they scored first in this one. Harris's brace has changed the tally.
Interesting how Lou City also dropped into a low block when they're defending. They were all in their final third of the pitch, now just pushing forward. Most teams seem to be adopting that style of tactics. You try and get the ball back, and if you can't, then you all drop into very deep positions and deny the opposition space.
eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download it now. Well, for Harris, it's the 6th time this year that he has scored multiple goals in a match. His 5th brace, also has a hat trick on the year. Here's Rito. It is Sharpie erasing that chance. Is Rito again finding a little bit of space. Mayor. Phoenix looking to level the score here.
They haven't used Margarita much in the last sort of 10-15 minutes. It's been very much Edgardo Rito down the right-hand side, but Margarita's got that pace and ability to run at players, so just wonder if Phoenix Rising shouldn't switch it across to the other side occasionally.
Adams is over to intervene. Morris retreats and bounces it off of a defender. Blinder draws the foul.
Lawrence Riker, really combative right back, and gets stuck in, does the Englishman.
So how are things taking shape in the East? This is how things look right now. 2 goals for all of the home teams so far on this evening in late October. And Lou City eyeing who they would play, and it sits as of right now at North Carolina being the number 8 seed in the East. This ball thrown through after the interception. Things constantly changing. Phoenix in the West still sits in 8th. They need a result tonight and a little bit of help if they're to surge up the table at all. They can reach as high as 6th here this evening, pending results, and they were for about a quarter hour of this match when they led 1-0 until Wilson Harris changed things in the span of 4 minutes.
Yeah, again, I'm sure that Phoenix Rising would like to win today's game, but if they don't, I don't really think that they're bothered, because New Mexico, I'd fancy their chances going there as they did 2 weeks ago. New Mexico haven't won in the last 4. It's very difficult to turn that form back on. I think Phoenix Rising feel that they can get at New Mexico. So, yeah, it wouldn't be the end of the world if things didn't work out for them here tonight. But of course, you're a professional. You want to win every game. But not easy at this stadium. What is it? 15 out of 16 games they've won Lou City at home. And you can see why. When they needed the goals, they just flooded forward and put so much pressure on. And a class finish from Wilson Harris, especially the first one. What a brilliant strike.
Lou City has a plus 35 goal differential in this park as well. They've scored multiple goals in all but 1 of their home matches this season, and that happens again here tonight in match number 17. A 2-1 lead for Lou City against Phoenix. Wilson Harris's brace have turned the tables after Phoenix scored in the 8th minute from Gerald Margarita.
We just had a glimpse of Diego Gomez, the interim coach for Phoenix Rising, but he's going to have to do what they did last year. Let's go on the road and win game after game. And they're capable of it, especially in the West. With all due respect, the East has been a lot better this season. So there's a couple of teams there, such as New Mexico, that I think they can beat, and they have to emulate the boys of 2023 to do that.
Yeah, I think when you look at the West, I don't think there's a team that you would be shocked if they made the final in the end. They've all had their spells of really high quality play.
Yeah, certainly Sac Republic seem to have the sort of the grit year in, year out to produce a great performance. New Mexico have had a fabulous season, but you know, for them it's the best they've ever achieved. They're not used to finishing top in the West. Colorado Springs Switchbacks, well, I tell you what, they've got some good players there as well, so not an easy game. But there's something about this Phoenix side on the road that, like I say, they can stand up to the pressure, and they won't be too worried, I don't think, about having to go to New Mexico, if that's how it turns out.
They've given up the 5th fewest goals in the league this year entering the night. Rito chases after this. His pass gets ricocheted off of Sharpie, and Serrano slides this away to Wilson Harris.
It's been a good season for Ray Serrano. Struggled last year, didn't score many, was in and out the team. Danny Cruz said to us, I need more from him. This season, though, he's really come good. 7 goals, 5 assists. He's made an impact, and that's exactly what Danny Cruz was looking for.
Margarita. Is it taken away once more? Lou City has won 8 consecutive home matches, looking to make it 9 straight here tonight, and also tie the single season record for wins in a USL Championship season with the 2019 Phoenix side and the 2022 San Antonio group that won 24.
Yeah, they've already set new club records for points. They can extend that for the games they've won. They can extend that, and the number of goals, the number of home wins. So they've got a whole bunch of club records they have absolutely smashed. But as you say, they've set up a couple of USL all-time best records as well, which is just an incredible achievement from the side who, as you can see today, they're not taking their foot off the pedal. They're still applying that same attitude, that same pressure and domination against teams.
They'll finish with the 4th most points in the history of the league, regardless of result tonight. Phoenix in 2019 had 78, and then Cincinnati in 2018 and San Antonio in 2022 had 77. A win tonight for Lou City would make it 76. 45th minute, Lou City look to add another before the break. Adams tried to get the arc, instead skies it into the bleachers.
Yeah, not his best, but we'll give him a bit of slack. He set up the pass for the Wilson Harris goal, so he's got himself an assist tonight, so hasn't been all bad. But yeah, that one didn't quite work out for Kyle Adams. Had a nice rest in the San Antonio match, didn't have any minutes there, and got a good chance just to recharge the batteries.
A real credit to Phoenix, conversely. They spent 7 consecutive weeks below the playoff line. Didn't get above that line until September. Of course, the coaching changed in the middle of the year, and they've been either 7th or 8th for the last 7 consecutive weeks. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in this first half of play. Stoppage time brought to you by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Dennis spies space on the left side. Rito again charges forward on this right side. Margaritha, up top it goes. And a tumble from Varela. Harris gets taken out by Lawrence White. There is no foul. Harris down.
He feels he's been hit in the head, and he's looking for some treatment there. We mentioned Lawrence White is a bit of a battler there. Danny Cruz not happy at all. He's saying to the 4th ref, did you not see anything?
Instead it leads Varela. Offside flag would have been up there. It nullifies that chance, and more arguments here as Wilson Harris took that bump.
Quasio just turning to Varela and saying you needed to play that first time. You could see that I was running into an offside position. But, I think there'll be a couple of words said about that in the locker room amongst the Lou City players, so expect some more issues around Lawrence White in the second half. Let's have a look. And no, it was a shoulder to shoulder, wasn't it? I didn't see an elbow come up.
Rito. Will there be enough time for Phoenix to make one more push before halftime?
Here's a slow block again from Lou City, all in that final third of the pitch, everyone behind the ball.
And the final whistle blows right there, and Wilson Harris's brace has Lou City out in front 2-1 after conceding first in this match. And Gary, exciting matchup between these two sides in the final game of the regular season.
Yeah, brilliant effort from both teams. You know, nothing to play for in terms of points really, but they've both put in a great effort there. Goals, excitement, but the pressure from Lou City has just been non-stop until they went 2-1 up, and they've taken their foot off a little bit, but hopefully more excitement to come in the second half.
It's halftime here in Louisville, Kentucky, where Louisville City gets 2 goals from Wilson Harris after Gerald Margaritha scores the opener in this match in the 8th minute. And Lou City leads 2-1 at halftime. Plenty to come during our halftime report when we return.
When the Thompsons first bought their house, all they saw was their dream home. They didn't yet know that with a home equity line of credit from Commonwealth Credit Union, it would be their keys to epic cannonballs and the chance to see the world. As years went by, it allowed them to empower the next generation and make happily ever after come true. Which begs the question, what could your home be doing for you? Let's find out together. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
It is our first year here at the Louisville Slugger Field. It is so exciting to see new faces. We have raised over $114,000 for our community here in Louisville for survivors and thrivers like myself.
I am a breast cancer survivor of 15 years. I'm just excited just to be here 15 years. Wow. It's even though you think you're over it, it's still emotional.
It means a lot because I'm not even supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to make it, but here I am 9 years later, still going strong because I refuse to give up.
The atmosphere has been, the kind that gives you goosebumps.
This event's very important to us, just to do as much as we can for fundraising, for research, to hopefully one day find a cure for cancer.
Okay, ideas, where are we going?
I got one.
What about a comedy show?
I've seen you, I've swiped on you, no, okay?
Tacos.
Definitely tacos.
The all-new Camry is 100% hybrid. Lease one now for $299 per month or get 4.99 APR financing. Find your vibe in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
And we welcome you back to Lynn Family Stadium, where we will get into a few of the potential playoff matches in just a moment. But what a year it has been here at home, with 15 wins already on the season. Let's have a look back at some of the best moments at Lynn Family Stadium.
Fans filing in at Lynn Family Stadium. Should be a great atmosphere. Here we go, yet again. Riverhounds and Louisville City. Serrano scores! There's the dagger! Louisville all 3 points! Morris for Wilson! Wilson off the post and in!
There we go, McCabe floats it up top. Loose in front, still loose. Toast, back heel, Harris! The winner for Louisville! Goodrum pounds this ball into the net. And the boys in purple soaring. Loaded to the backside. Maris heads it down. Turning. Firing. Scoring. Oh, did that just win the shield? Oh, it's Morris. Wow. A history-making goal. With all of the goals scored in Lynn Family Stadium, the path to the final goes through Lou City, and there are so many different ways that things could get organized for that number 8 spot. Who will Lou City play? Well, there's a lot of different options, and one could be Tampa, Gary, and they have played some incredible matches over the years.
Oh, historic matches against Tampa Bay, and one just a couple of weeks ago where Lou City won 2-1. They could have lost 2-1. There was an incredible goal, Ordonez in the dying moments in that match. So yeah, if they match up against Tampa Bay, it'll just be absolutely superb. It always is between these two teams.
Yeah, two fantastic sides. They split the regular season series. It very well could be a 1v8. And then how about the last two Players' Shield winners? Could be the potential matchup with Pittsburgh.
That's one you probably don't want if you're Danny Cruz, because Pittsburgh are a stubborn team and they've found some form, but Wilson Harris here just sticking one past the Riverhounds. Ray Serrano as well. Yet none of them are going to be easy, but somehow I wouldn't want Pittsburgh.
And the other potential option as well is North Carolina, and just about a month ago, it was a crazy game. 6-4 Lou City against North Carolina on the road.
Incredible match, one of the matches of the season. Couple of own goals. In fact, I think there were 3 own goals in total, but Lou City just showing what a fantastic side they are. conceding that many goals and still managing to come back and score 6. Absolutely brilliant.
It was the first time in 5 years that Lou City had scored 6 in a match. But here we sit at halftime. When we return, we'll take a look around the USL with the early scoreboard and how things are shaking out on the playoff table.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked Bebidas.
Welcome to Do or Die. Welcome to stories that give meaning to it all. The juggernaut chasing history. The hero hoping for a Hollywood ending. The upstart determined to make the most of its shot at glory. Welcome to second guessing everything. Every coach's decision. Every referee's call. Every pass, shot, tackle, save. Because you know it all means more now. Welcome to the playoffs.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Get out there and get away. Get to a game. Get out for a night out in a new Toyota.
Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like this all-wheel drive RAV4 Hybrid.
When it comes to SUVs, more people count on RAV4, year after year after year.
Now get 4.99 APR financing on a new RAV4 or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $339 a month, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. Let's go places.
We welcome you back to Louisville, Kentucky. It's 2-1. Lou City out in front of Phoenix Rising. Michael and Gary back with you as we look at the news and the notes from around the USL. And Gary, how about Nate Steinwasser living every goalkeeper's dream, scoring a penalty kick last week against Miami?
It's great to see. He's been around a long time. I don't know how much longer he's going to be, and maybe this is something he wanted to do before he hung up his gloves, and why not? He's just been a most stunning goalkeeper and not a bad penalty taker either.
Enzo Martinez, fifth player in USL Championship history with 50-plus assists, and Rhode Island securing a playoff spot. 15 draws this year helped them win their case, and they're winning right now against Miami 2-0 as they sit in the number 5 position of the Eastern Conference standings. So the early scoreboard in the USL Championship looks like this. Charleston eliminates Loudoun, 2-1 finish in that one. If these results hold, it would be Lou City against North Carolina in the 1 versus 8 in the Eastern Conference playoff push. Tampa Bay leading Indy 11, 2-0, so Tampa Bay would hold on to the number 6 spot. Pittsburgh would be 7. Indy would get the final hosting position with the number 4 role. The Western Conference, meanwhile, we know the 8 teams that are in. There's no drama there, but things can certainly shift as the night goes along. Phoenix currently in 8th. They had leapt up to number 6 when they led Lou City earlier today, but trailing in the first half of this one, they sit in the 8th spot. Fascinating things to play out everywhere else in the Western Conference matches that we'll be watching tonight. Oakland against Birmingham. If Oakland were to lose that match, Phoenix were to come back and win that match, this match, it would be Phoenix rising to the number 6 spot. Hartford, their little glimmer of hope, they need some help. They need Pittsburgh to fumble against El Paso late or Las Vegas to come back against North Carolina for Hartford to have a chance to still make the playoffs. And then Sacramento and Colorado Springs will be a good battle for the top 4 spots in the West. It's 2-1 Lou City at halftime here. When we come back, it'll be the highlights and the stats in the second half kick when we return.
Get out there and get away. Get to a game. Get to the campground.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck.
Like the trail-dominating Toyota Tacoma.
The best-selling truck in its class for the past 19 years.
Or the dominatingly powerful new Tundra.
Now you can lease a new Tacoma from just $319 a month.
Or you can get a new Tundra with 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash.
Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the 3rd health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I finally feel in control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The wandering son returns. The older brother, who's been away from the family for over 1,000 days, is back. A little bolder, more sophisticated, stronger yet leaner. The all-new Land Cruiser resumes its place alongside the new, more dynamic Tacoma, the powerful Tundra, the legendary 4Runner, and the full-size adventuring Sequoia to reunite Toyota's 5 brothers. The family that plays together stays together. Toyota, let's go places.
Louisville City leads Phoenix 2-1 at halftime, and it was quite the electric opening 45 minutes of play, and it started in the 8th minute. Lou City had a corner kick, and it seemed like maybe they were going to score, and all of a sudden Phoenix had a chance.
Jake Morris with a header, Kyle Adams, and they didn't keep enough numbers back because once Perez gets drawn in here, look at the number of red shirts. Just Ray Serrano at home, and Edgardo Rito bombing down the right-hand side. Nice ball played into him, but so unselfish here. Just to knock it through for Margarita, and they really did punish Lou City on the counter-attack, and what a good start there for Phoenix Rising.
The Rising led 1-0, but it only lasted about 15 minutes as this great pass from Kyle Adams picked out Wilson Harris, who showcased his skill set.
This is a golazo. The first touch from the Kyle Adams pass. Look at it, kills the ball, he swivels, then he bangs it right towards that top corner. Fantastic finish from Wilson Harris.
It would only take a few more minutes for Harris to get another. This time, it was Perez setting him up.
He cuts back and then he whips it in with that left foot bending towards goal. Just needs a touch, and it's Wilson Harris who gets that touch. Nothing that Rocco Rios-Nova can do about that. Wonderful ball in from Adrian Perez.
5th brace of the season for Wilson Harris, and look at these halftime stats. Shots clearly in favor of Lou City, but more accurate from Phoenix. Lou City, though, 2 shots on target, 2 goals.
Yeah, quality when it comes to finishing. If you look at the expected goals, 1.5 for the home side, just over 1 for Phoenix Rising. So it's been a decent performance by both sides in the attack, and I think it's been a really enjoyable game. By the way, corners 5 for Lou City, 0 for Phoenix Rising. You can see that Lou City have been applying so much pressure in that first half.
Phoenix made 1 change at the break. Remy Cabral comes in. Tomas Angel comes out. Cabral is a team leader with 7 goals this season as Phoenix tries to make their second half push here on the road.
I think it's a sensible substitution because he is their main striker. He's got power and strength that Angel doesn't have, and I think they need that right now, Phoenix Rising.
Our second half is underway. It's the final half of the regular season, and it's Louisville City leading 2-1 against Phoenix Rising. Michael Watring, Gary Bailey, and our team with you here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Excited to watch the conclusion of this one. Well, Phoenix have not come back from a halftime deficit this year. 9 losses, 3 draws when trailing at halftime. Meanwhile, Louisville, 14 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, so nearly unbeatable when they have the edge at the break. Things off to a little bit slower start here in the second half, and now Louisville starts to bring a little bit of pressure.
The numbers have got up there. Just one mistake in the end. Rocco Rios now just has to boot that clear.
You don't want to play with it too much there. Well, these two teams have not played all that often in their histories. In fact, the first ever meeting came 6 years ago in the 2018 USL Championship Cup final. And it was Lou City getting the better of that one. Luke Spencer scoring just past the hour mark. A 1-0 win for the team's first ever trophy.
And a certain Amadou Dia, who's on the bench for Lou City, was playing for Phoenix Rising that day.
Yeah, there's some great names in that one. Phoenix had Didier Drogba.
Oh, legend. Solo Asante, also a legend, maybe not quite the same level as Didier Drogba. He's a legend worldwide. Solo Asante is a legend in the USL, but Kevin Lambert, I mean, all top quality players. Mind you, there was a few good ones on the Lou City side as well.
That man right there that just committed the foul, Sean Tosh, came on in the second half as a sub.
Niall McCabe is on the bench. He played in that one. Brian Ownby, unfortunately, he's been injured for most of the season. A big loss for the boys in purple. Paolo Del Piccolo, Paco Craig, who's since moved on. Memories.
Collision, and Winder takes over. Mayor charges back over. Phoenix have only scored multiple goals 7 times this year. High arcing switch of field. There's Margarita, the goal scorer. Now Traore. Much different feel in the opening 5 minutes of the second half after a helter-skelter up-tempo first 45 minutes of play.
The thing for Lou City is all these records they've set, it doesn't mean enough for the team and their coach Danny Cruz. He said, yeah, I'm very proud of the team, they've won the Players' Shield, he said, but he did it when he was playing back in 2017 and they lost in the first round. And he said Arturo Ordóñez last year was part of the Pittsburgh team that were champions and they got knocked out first round, I think, by Detroit City. So he says, doesn't guarantee you anything in the playoffs. He said, it's been fantastic, but we need to keep going right until that final championship match is won, and then we can relax.
So he's very much set on adding another star to the crest for Louisville. Always been a workmanlike attitude this year, even in the friendlies that they've had. It's all about trying to find ways to win matches, holding the group to a high standard.
I think part of that is they've got so many good players on the bench, which we'll probably see some of them in the second half, that if you take your foot off the pedal, if you're Wilson Harris, you go a game or two without scoring, Philip Goodrum replaces or takes your place. You've got Sam Gleadle up front, Jansen Wilson out wide, putting pressure on the likes of Aidan McFadden, Amadou Dia putting pressure on Jake Norris, and so it goes on. When you've got that sort of quality on the bench, it really helps you hold the players, as you say, to a very high standard. And good coaching as well. No doubt that Danny Cruz fires his teams up. He's a combative manager within, sensible limits, and he really gets some fire under them. And you see him on the touchline really sort of demanding from his team the best at all times.
Adrian Perez charges forward. McFadden tosses it in. Harris tries to twirl again. Davila. This portion of tonight's match presented by Toyota and the Kentuckiana Toyota dealers. Harris launches and ships it into the bleachers. Well, in 2018, we mentioned it. It was in November, and how about Luke Spencer? Hits that ball well and finds the net, and the celebration was on the campus of the University of Louisville.
There's some memories there for a lot of the New City fans. We mentioned again, Del Piccolo playing in that match, and Ownby out wide, Niall McKay, Paco Craig, all celebrating in that group.
A championship year for Louisville that season back in 2018. Back-to-back championships, 2017 and 2018. It's a club that has been to the Eastern Conference Final in every year that they've been in existence since 2015, and have to be the favorites now, having been the best team in the league for pretty much the entirety of the season. There were times there where Charleston was flirting with it. Granted, Charleston had more games played at that point, but Louisville eventually pulling away at the end, winning that critical match as well.
And crazy to think that with having made the playoffs 8 years in a row, this is the first year they won the Players' Shield.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have thought they won it before when you think of all those wonderful teams they've had, but this is the first time, which makes it, that's why they're breaking so many club records as well as USL records. Zambrano just holding his face, felt he took a knock there. But it hasn't been too nasty. There's not much in this game for either side, really. For Phoenix Rising, yes, a place or two, but you know, if it's a playoff game, I would pretty much guarantee there'd be a lot more chippiness and fighting and pushing, but I think both teams giving as much as they can, bearing in mind the playoffs start next week.
The foul whistled here. Quajo going down, and looking at some of the scores, Rhode Island is blasting Miami. JJ Williams has a brace. Fuson and Ibarra have scored as well. It's 4-0 in that match as you take another look at this foul from Davila. Lorenzo Zambrano wants to take this kick, but they have to reset the line here. Varela, Quajo, Margarita gets to his left foot, arcs this ball around everybody. Volley attempt bounces, and then Quajo ships it out and wide. In the aftermath of both hurricanes, Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to the resources they need to recover.
These first 10 minutes, it feels like both teams have had a chat in the locker room and said, you know what, guys, we're putting too much energy. We need to save it for the playoffs. I'm sure we'll see some more excitement in a minute or two, but it is, of the entire match so far, this is probably the quietest that both sides have been in terms of goalmouth opportunities. Talking of goalmouth opportunities, Remy Cabral, important match for the number 91 in the middle there. Has had his injury problems this season, but I would think he'd be the first choice for Diego Gomez, but if he's not 100% fit, he might decide to stick with Thomas Angel. It's an important one for Cabral to show what he's got so that he gets into the lineup for the first playoff match.
And here's the foul back behind everything. It's Adrian Perez. It'll be the same time, same location next week for Lou City, 7:30 p.m. for the playoff match.
A little bit of incidental contact there, nothing nasty in that.
McFadden. Cheeky little pass from Perez. Harris returns the favor. Perez ships this ball in, and Serrano's header goes high into the air. Didn't get enough on it.
That would have been one of the exciting goals of the month if that had gone in, because the touch play leading up to that was absolute class from virtually everybody involved. In the end, Ray Serrano just not able to get his header on target, but the approach play was sublime.
It's a Phoenix team that had won its last 2 road trips after winning just 2 of its first 14 away from home. But behind on the scoreboard here after leading for the first 15 minutes or so after scoring in the 8th minute. McFadden chops that away. Zambrano. This ball comes in. Cabral taps it over. They will not get the foul whistled, and it comes all the way out where Fuenmayor resets.
Wonder now as we approach the 60th minute what the managers feel in terms of fresh legs. So they want to bring some players off and say you've had 60 minutes, let's just, you know, keep you trim and ready for next week. Or do they want to push them closer to 90 so they're ready in terms of the number of minutes they might be required to play in the playoffs? You get the sense that probably we'll start to see substitutions, because no need to push players too much at this stage of the season. But you never know how each manager sees it from their point of view.
Show punches this through. Cabral gets there in time. His angle cut off. Loss is on the ground. There's space in there. Margarita arcs it around, and Adams has to send it away. Nervy defensive moments there for Loss and company. Dennis cuts back. Dennis hammers this ball around everybody and outs.
Good little spell there for Phoenix Rising. Question Remy Cabral, he had a good chance to go for goal. Had the goalkeeper coming out, could he have flicked it over him? Instead, he draws Damien Lass out, but then doesn't manage to put anything in the box. Has to pass the ball. And then, of course, Charlie Dennis does some good work and then balloons the ball way too high for everyone. But a little moment of class there from Phoenix Rising.
Five of the 6 losses this year for Lou City have been by just 1 goal. And Gary, when you look at this Louisville side, how do they lose in the playoffs? What does a team need to do in order to take them out?
It's very difficult, especially if they're playing at Lynn Family Stadium, which they will be. They've just got quality in every position. They've got quality off the bench. You basically have to have the perfect game against them. Because as we saw in the first half, even if you score against them, they come flying back, crosses into the box, pressurize you, high press often. You do get the sense, and I think most neutrals might have the feeling as well, that I'd like to see them progress quite far because they deserve it. And not that you get what you deserve in playoffs, but when you break all these records, it just would feel wrong if they went out early in the playoffs. So maybe when they get towards the end and they're playing the Charleston Batteries of the world, then it starts to get very, very close. Maybe East versus West, that'll be a tough match. But all the time it's at Lynn Family Stadium, you have to fancy Lou City to remain on this winning streak.
As it stands right now, it would be Louisville and North Carolina in the opener of the postseason. And those 2 teams played quite the matchup in August in North Carolina. 6-4, Louisville coming back in that matchup. There's a look at the live standings, with North Carolina and Pittsburgh both winning. North Carolina would be the number 8 seed. Pittsburgh would be the 7, traveling to Charleston. This shot ricochets high and wide off of a Blue City player.
Cabral and them are pointing, I think, at the big board to say, have a look, like a do your own mini VAR, referee. It came off the hand, but referee's having none of it. Jeremy Shear.
just over 10,000 in attendance for this matchup tonight. And the first corner kick of the evening for Phoenix. Wi-Fi corner, and Renzo Zambrano will do the honors. Actually, it'll be Charlie Dennis that now takes over at the corner flag. Dennis shovels this ball all the way in. Second chance from Fuenmayor. Into traffic. Tosh nods that away. A couple bounces. Traore wide. Margarita. Traore. This ball hovers just enough. Has that sidewinding spin. And Loss will take his time to gather. We had all those flurries early in this match with scores from around the rest of the league, but really not much happening elsewhere at this time. FC Tulsa and Monterey Bay 2-0 in that match, and Rhode Island 5-1 against Miami. Those are scores that have added to it. And FC Tulsa and Monterey Bay both eliminated. This cross comes in. Traore tries to funnel it out. Tosh comes back. Davila. Davila finds space. Davila with the right foot pushes it in, and it's well handled right in the middle of the park there by Lawrence Wyke.
Both sides having a little moments. We had Phoenix Rising 5 minutes ago having a couple of chances. Now Lou City's had a crack there with Taylor Davila. Not as much or as many opportunities as we saw in the first half, but both sides still pushing forward when they can. Again, wonderful practice, if you want to use that word, for the playoffs coming up next weekend. Tough match, difficult circumstances. Phoenix away from home, which they will be. Lou City playing at home, which they will be. Two very quality sides, and a nice test. I think both managers will take a lot out of these matches in terms of preparation for next week.
Phoenix could get up to number 6, but they would need a win and help to get there. Currently sitting in 8th in the West, and a visit to New Mexico in the postseason. Traore lofts to the right channel, and it's nodded out. Advanced ENT is ahead of the curve. Relief around the corner, serving Louisville, Central Kentucky, and Southern Indiana. This cross finds some space there for Varela, but he's unable to control. And now Harris intercepts against Traore. Harris has Perez in the middle. Instead, he dribbles past Traore first, and then Traore does enough to take it away. Looks like Damian Barker-John and Derek Formella are the two that are getting ready for the next phase of subs for Phoenix Rising. Adams showcases that left leg again. It's Serrano chipping it over the top, and it crushes the nets. Ray Serrano finds space, and it is a flawless chip. 3-1 Lou City.
And it's that same look on Rocco Rios Novo's face, like, what do you expect me to do, guys? Another good finish. Lovely little chip from Ray Serrano. What about the pass? Deep out of defense. And there were two strikers. It's Kyle Adams with the long ball. But Wilson Harris is there as well, and Ray Serrano. Both of them get behind the back four. So question marks about the defending. Literally queuing up here, Lou City. And eventually it's Ray Serrano who takes the initiative, just chips it over Rocco Rios Novo. And now comfortably ahead. Happy days for Lou City as they now add to more records. And what a season this has been for the boys in purple.
It is a 8th goal of the year for Ray Serrano, and it's a goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. That's the Kentucky Lottery. Adams again, just a delightful pass from long range, and Serrano stepped right in front of Wilson Harris there, liked his chances. And that's 3 unanswered goals now for the boys in purple. So 2 subs as well do come in. Derek Formella and Damian Barker-John replace Fede Varela and Edgardo Rito. Substitutions brought to you by Fortnite.
Interesting to see how these subs do. They do have a little opportunity here to impress the manager in the final 20-odd minutes, but I do sense that the team that started is probably going to be the team that plays in the playoffs, along with Pop Marboy if he's available for Phoenix. But a goal here from Cabral or Damian Barker-John could change the coach's opinion.
Louisville has now scored 57 goals at home. If it was just their home matches taken into account, only Charleston would have more goals in the league this season.
Wow. I mean, if they do go on to win this, which is looking more and more likely, you're right, they match the USL record of 24 games, but their points would be 75. That's a new club record. 85 goals, a new club record. 16 home wins, a new club record. And so it goes on. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other records you could add to that.
Well, they've had 7 home games with at least 4 goals. Is there another one left in the final 22 minutes or so? Davila gets it back on the give and go. Davila springs to space. Tethers that ball to the boot, falls down, somehow slimmers through, and then Harris marks this over the top.
More and more pressure just from Lou City, even though they're 3-1 up. And now look at the quality they can bring off the bench in Jansen Wilson.
9 goals this season. Wilson coming in, replacing Adrian Perez. Substitution brought to you by Fortnite.
Seriously, 9 goals in a season, and he's your sub. Wow.
Well, nobody for Phoenix has more than 7 this year, so Wilson would be the team leader by 2. Look at Davila's stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah, just all on his own, red shirts everywhere, and how quick Wilson Harris gets that shot off there, just leaning backwards as it comes to him. Wilson Harris just waiting. He gets himself onside, steps back as it comes. Touch, hit. He was getting lent into, so just leaning over as he hits that.
70th minute of play. Phoenix were up 1-0 after 20 minutes, and then Wilson Harris scored twice in the span of 4 minutes. It was 2-1 at halftime, and Serrano just adding 1 more to the ledger to make it 3-1 for Lou City. Michael Watrank, Gary Bailey, and our team with you here. Final regular season match of the year. It looks like Phoenix will settle into that number 8 spot in the West, and if this holds, Lou City would join Phoenix from 2019 and San Antonio from 2022 with record-tying 24 wins in a single year.
Fantastic achievement. No doubt about that whatsoever, but it's their form at home with 16 wins from 17 that means they have a great chance of going on to win the playoffs, because they're all going to be at Lynn Family Stadium, and they've shown this season just how brilliant they are on home turf. And now that they're 3-1 up, they can sit back a little bit, play counter-attack football. Wouldn't surprise me if they bring on Philip Goodrum or Sam Gleedle and say, okay, let's get some fresh legs up front. You attack us and we'll counter-attack.
Here's Formella trying to get to it. He slides down. Margarita had a piece. Quayshow. Zambrano chips this ball over the top. It's a delightful touch, backpedaling by Barker John, but can't control. Pittsburgh have finished off El Paso and looking like the Riverhounds will be the number 7 seed, with Tampa Bay leading Indy 11 3-0. North Carolina still clings to that 1-goal edge against North Carolina. And if that holds, it would be Lou City and North Carolina in the opening round of the postseason. Harris shoots this from long range, and Rios Novo gets his foot to it, even though he is outside of the 18. If that ball has any bit of angle to it, might have been trouble there for Rios Novo.
Either angle around him or height over the top of him. But just Wilson Harris taking a big breather after that. And as I say, I would expect him to bring Goodrum on soon with his pace and fresh legs up front, because as Phoenix Rising throw more and more forward, there's going to be opportunities like that one on the counter-attack for Lou City.
Louisville, the 2024 USL Championship title runs through Lynn Family Stadium. Lou City will open playoffs Saturday, November 2nd, with all of this year's postseason games to be played at home. Tickets are available at loucity.com/playoffs. Get yours now, and it could be Lou City and North Carolina in a week from today. Zambrano. Traore cuts back. Phoenix bringing numbers forward, but Lou City defending with everybody. And it's another giveaway. Harris charges through the middle of the field. Winder has Wilson. McFadden joins the party. Nobody around him. Aiden McFadden charges forward. Fires this across. It comes back out. Serrano strikes. And it gets blocked away. Back out for Formella.
That's the risk, isn't it, for Phoenix Rising, pushing numbers forward and getting counter-attacked here. Everybody seems to be slowing down now, okay? It's been so hectic for a while. I'm taking a breather.
Davila switches fields here. The flag up for offside, and much to his disdain. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches, including the championship final, will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the year. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Lou City wants to use a couple more changes now. It's going to be Manny Perez and Philip Goodrum coming in. Aiden McFadden and Wilson Harris come off, and it's another great night for Wilson Harris. 2 more goals this evening and a career-high 19 for the campaign. And this was Adams setting him up. What a great pass, and you mentioned it, great touch and great shot from Harris.
First touch is brilliant, but the spin and then sticking it towards the top corner. I mean, what a finish. The control of the ball, the awareness of where the ball is, the turn. Must be so difficult and frustrating for Philip Goodrum, because in almost any other team he'd be a starter, Goodrum, and yet with Wilson Harris in front, his job is to come off the bench. And again, why they're going to be so difficult to beat, Lou City, is if they are losing, that's who they can bring on, Philip Goodrum.
Danny Cruz mentioning, flag up here for offside, that what kind of challenge it will be for opponents to deal with Wilson Harris for 60, 70 minutes, and then Goodrum coming in right after that. Fans, it's time to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Vision Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now on the Lou City app.
And interesting, when Philip Goodrum scored last week against San Antonio, he became the 11th Lou City player with 3 or more goals. 11. And that was something that Diego Gomez said to us, the coach of Phoenix Rising. He said, they're so good in so many different areas. Who do you mark? You've got to just be solidly defensive across the board, because they can score from so many different players.
And so many different players can play that catalyst as well, with 18 posting an assist this season. It's an elite, talented group. And it's another good showcase on the home field. Manny Perez rips through the middle of the park. Tosh shoots this ball across, and Serrano was there, but couldn't quite get the feet right as he heads it over the top.
And nice to see Manny Perez getting on the pitch. Ray Serrano just shaking his head, feeling he could have done better. That's 2 headers now he's had that haven't really hit target in the last sort of 10-15 minutes. But Perez, only 3 appearances, his 4th appearance of the entire season. And he spent some time in Denmark in the middle of the year, got injured against Miami, and great to see him back.
Our apologies for a little bit of a hiccup, but Phoenix is going to make a couple changes. Jose Hernandez and JP Skierce are coming in. Dennis and White come off. Those final changes presented by Fortnum.
Yeah, it all makes sense. As we were saying a little bit earlier, you could push these players to 90 minutes, but no need to. A week before the playoffs start, we're going to give them 60-odd minutes, get them off. In this case, closer to 75, 76 minutes, get them off and rest those legs. Just no need to overwork them. Give others a little bit of a run out so they're fresh in case they're needed during the playoffs. So both teams taking a similar approach.
So barring something drastic happening in this match, it'll be a 9th consecutive home win for Lou City, entering the postseason. And with North Carolina holding off Las Vegas at home, Olex Anderson's 45th minute goal holds up, and the Eastern Conference table taking shape. Certainly at the bottom, North Carolina will be the 8th seed and will visit Lou City next Saturday. Avila bumps that away. And here comes Wilson and company. Perez curls this ball in. Glenn Mayor was over there, and instead it's Goodrum that gets the last touch and a goal kick.
He's a handful, Goodrum. Scored a header in the last match against San Antonio. He had something different in the air. He's a combative player, whereas Wilson Harris is more of a touch player with his feet and doesn't get in people's faces. Philip Goodrum, he'll bump you and push you around and get in your face and get on the end of crosses. A totally different type of striker, which gives Coach Danny Cruz wonderful options.
Danny Cruz said that he's a pest. And
I think it's a very polite way of putting it.
No doubt we have seen that. 10 minutes to go here in the regular season. Lou City leading it 3-1. 10 minutes away from tying the single season record for wins in a year with 24. Margaritha, who scored the opener tonight back in the 8th minute. Lou City has since scored 3 unanswered. Traore. Zambrano. Cabral, who has been very quiet in the second half, gives it away. Goodrum draws the foul, and our first booking of the night will come right here. Fuenmayor is the first man to be honored with a yellow card.
Yeah, it hasn't been a nasty match at all, has it? With not much on the line. No play up until now has warranted the yellow. That was a little bit late, Fuenmayor, unnecessary. Maybe it's payback for previous matches. As we say, Goodrum has upset centre-backs in the past.
Yellow card presented by Bone Dry Roofing. Will Lou City add another? Is the flag up here for offside? Well, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Mike Watts and Devin Kerr will set the table for the postseason there. And hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
Devin and Mike are great to listen to. It's well recommended to listen to that podcast, and covers all what's happening, and especially with the playoffs starting, you're going to want to know who's playing who and where and what the chances are of success.
Formella. Cabral stumbles. He gives it away. Perez takes over. Louisville look to counter. Perez wants it on this right side. Perez in full speed. Quayshow knocks him off the ball, however. Perez hangs with it, and Quayshow gets it right back. Hernandez heads it, but only as far as Winder. Fourth minute. Louisville doing what they've done time and time again. Assuming this one holds, it'd be 16-1 at home. The most ever home wins, the most ever home goals in the history of this league. Serrano, the most recent goal scorer, 66th minute. Lone goal of the second half. Zambrano resets. Phoenix punching its ticket to the postseason last week before even playing with San Antonio and Lou City's result. And it looks like they will get the number 8 seed and will head to New Mexico to face on the top team in the West. Hernandez gives it right back. And a foul is going to be given right here.
Maybe some late drama still to come here. And certainly for Damian Barker-John, who wins that free kick, the 19-year-old, chance to prove himself. Just played recently for Grenada. Played against Curaçao, where his teammate Joel Margarita plays for. So they came head-to-head.
And Barker-John played collegiately at Louisville for 2 years. Third team all-region pick a year ago. And after being with Real Monarchs for much of this season, comes back to Louisville. And it will be Emil Quayshow taking this free kick, sponsored by Fifth Third. Quayshow lines it up. Quayshow arcs it high and over the top. Might have had it covered pretty easily, but it goes out of play. And Louisville ready to make a couple more changes. It's going to be Niall McCabe and Sam Gleadle coming in. They replace Taylor Davila and Ray Serrano. Fortuna substitutions here in the 86th minute.
You mentioned Niall McKay, part of that team that beat Phoenix Rising in that final. He was there and he's still there. At the ripe old age of 34, the Irishman still doing a fantastic job and a big leader at the club, according to Danny Cruz, a vital part of keeping the locker room together.
Tonight's Lynn family vision man of the match is Wilson Harris, a brace for Lou City's leading goal scorer here tonight. Changed a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead, and Lou City has not looked back since. Leading 3-1 now, and maybe looking for a fourth before the night is over.
And I think you'll see his first goal quite often because that's up there with some of the best goals I've seen this season. He's going to get replayed time and time again. Great first touch, great swivel, sticks it towards the top corner. Absolute quality finish.
Tosh had his sights set on McKay, but Formella had other thoughts. Adams comes back to get it. A couple assists tonight for Adams. Wilson finds a pocket. McCabe. A long-range shot from Morris. A screamer that ends up banging off of the guardrails behind the goal.
Back to that point, there's so many quality players or players who have the quality to score goals, and Morris being one of them. With his 5 goals already this season, great left foot.
Manny Perez gets fouled by Cuejo.
Interesting that he went away in the middle of the season to go play in Denmark for a little while. But I'm sure everyone delighted to have him back again.
Another strong piece to this puzzle. It's another 5th, 3rd free kick here. And Niall McCabe has the honors this time around. The only man that's been with the club since 2015's inception year. McCabe swings this one across. Tosh was waiting. Traore, though, the first man to it. 90 seconds plus stoppage time remain in the regular season. Lou City closing in on tying Phoenix and San Antonio's record for 24 wins in a year.
And you make a point about Niall McCabe being the only player to have been there a long while, and I think credit to Danny Cruz for rebuilding the team. He's had to bring players in. The likes of Ray Serrano, when he first joined, you weren't sure if he was going to be good enough, but he's grown with the club. He's brought in other quality players. Spent good money.
Jansen Wilson loses the ball just as he was starting to measure. I think the fans here want to celebrate one more regular season goal before the night's over.
Just saying, Jansen Wilson was a good signing. Philip Goodrum going for the ball there, another wonderful signing. Wilson Harris a couple of seasons, 3 seasons ago. He's built this team up. He's kept the quality players, and to be fair, not all clubs have the money to keep their best players. Lou City do have good backing from the ownership, but he's kept the quality year in and year out, added to it, and now you're sitting with one of the best teams ever seen in the history of the USL. And I'm going not by my own opinion, but by the records they're setting.
Phoenix will get a spell now. Shots are 21-7 in this match. And here comes McCabe and company. Stoppage time presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. 1 more minute to go in the regular season. Jansen Wilson lays it off. Elijah Winder gets knocked to the deck. Fans want a penalty. Needed more than that to get the whistle from Jeremy Shear. Formella. Tosh intervenes. Winder hits this first time. Goodrum is in and ricochets it off of Fuenmayor.
That's the danger from Philip Goodrum. Great run near post. Good defending, by the way, to block that. Elijah Winder with the ball in. don't know if that was going in or not, hard to say, but good defending from Fuenmayor. He stuck very closely to Philip Goodrum. Those two had a good battle here since Goodrum came on.
It's a Wi-Fi corner, and likely the final touches of the night. Jake Morris. Danny Cruz said has a lethal left-footed delivery. Swings this ball around. Back post! It is the capper! Philip Goodrum pounds it in! And it's an exclamation mark on a record-setting season for Louisville. Win number 24 and a 4-1 lead here tonight against Phoenix at the end.
We're just talking about how good a header of the ball he is, but the cross as well. Jake Morris comes in with pace. Rocco Rios Nova upset. He felt Sean Tosh impeded him, but I don't think the goalkeeper was getting to it anywhere. It was going over his head, but Philip Goodrum, he's in the right place, as he was last match, San Antonio. Also got a goal from a corner there. It's a quality player that you can, well, as I say, for almost any other team, he'd be a starter. But for Lou City, you can throw him on if you need him, and he will get you goals.
Goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. It's Kentucky Lottery. Goodrum scores another stoppage time goal. It's the 13th stoppage time goal of the year for Lou City, and it is the finishing moment of the night. Louisville scores at least 4 goals at home for the 8th time this year and comes back to beat Phoenix 4-1. What a performance this is, entering the postseason for the #1 seed in the East.
Brilliant performance, no question about it. They have been brilliant all season. I hope for their sake, because I feel they deserve to do well in the playoffs given how wonderful they've been so far. And for Phoenix Rising, yeah, doesn't really impact them that much. It's a bit of a blow, but they're playing the best team. And it actually, if anything, sharpens them up for the playoffs to come. They're going to have to defend a bit better, but they're going to come up against quality against New Mexico, and they're going to have to defend a little bit better than they did tonight. But nonetheless, they put in a good performance, have the boys from Phoenix.
Final score brought to you by Gorski Law Office. It's 4-1 Lou City. And with that Lou City win, you can head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's tomorrow to get a free small Frosty. No purchase necessary. And the fans don't even need to pull up their maps on the app. They know exactly where the Wendy's is. 24 wins this year for Lou City. And we take a look at tonight's move of the game presented by Toyota, and it's Adams with a flawless pass, and Harris outdoes himself with this touch and score.
Yeah, the first touch to land it where he knows where it's going to be, so he can start his turn almost immediately, and then the finish. Stunning, right towards the top corner, gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance whatsoever. Golazo, golazo.
19 goals for the year for Harris. 4 in a Lou City kit for the late season acquisition, Philip Goodrum. And an excellent night for Lou City. The final score, 4-1 here this evening. An evening of celebration. When we return, it's the full-time highlights, the stats, and the preview of the postseason as Lou City upends Phoenix 4-1.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the 3rd health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I'm finally feeling control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Get out there and get away. Get to a game. Get out for a night out in a new Toyota.
Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like this all-wheel drive RAV4 hybrid.
When it comes to SUVs, more people count on RAV4 year after year after year.
Now get 4.99 APR financing on a new RAV4 or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $339 a month. Plus 2 years, no-cost maintenance.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. Let's go places.
Our post-game tonight is presented to you by Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. Louisville, another incredible offensive onslaught. 4 goals tonight. Michael and Gary wrapping up the night with you. And it was a bit of an ominous start to the evening off of a corner that could have been a goal for Lou City, turned into Phoenix scoring the opener.
Yeah, Jake Morris header, Kyle Adams a shot, and then they just didn't have enough numbers back. Just Ray Serrano on his own at the end there after Adrian Perez tried to win the ball. Rita does so well here. Could have scored, but he just lays it into Margarita's pass. Nice, simple finish, made 100% sure with that perfectly weighted pass. And there they go, 1-0 up.
But Lou City had won 5 times when conceding first this year, and they would really drop the hammer. What a touch, and what a goal from Harris.
Yeah, Quasia just steps off Harris for a moment. As the ball comes in here, Quasia just stumbles and allows Harris to turn and hit that without the defender being right on top of him. But still, what a finish from Wilson Harris.
And it wouldn't take long after that for Lou City to get a lead that they would not relinquish. And yet again, it would be Harris this time from Perez.
Perez, beautiful curling cross with pace, flicked in at the near post. Winder and Harris queuing up. Wilson Harris gets his second.
And not much happened in the second half, but yet again, Adams showcasing the touch and Serrano chipping it over the top.
Good finish from Serrano. Wilson Harris was another choice there. Both of them getting the wrong side of that Phoenix Rising defense, which is a problem for the visitors, but Ray Serrano chipping over the keeper nice and comfortably.
And on the final touch of the night, Jake Morris, his 7th assist of the year, and Philip Goodrum sprawls out.
As he does, did so many headers, Philip Goodrum from set pieces. Such a vital player to have, especially coming off the bench there. Comfortable win in the end. Look, the possessions for Phoenix Rising, but if you look at the passes in the final third, it's 59 to Lou City, 41 to Phoenix Rising. So you can have all the ball you want in your own half. They didn't do enough with it on attack. Didn't have enough shots, although to be fair, Lou City shots weren't on target, just 4 from 25. A tough match for Phoenix Rising, but again, they've done the job of getting into the playoffs. Now they have to find what they did last season, that is go on the road and get result after result, and they're very capable of doing that.
And the Rising will visit New Mexico. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference table is all set. Lou City will host North Carolina. That should be a fun one on this field. The last time they met, they combined for 10 goals.
And that Olex Anderson has become better and better for North Carolina. So I think it's going to be a tough match. But again, given Lou City's home form, what is it now, 16 wins from 17? You've got to fancy them to beat North Carolina.
The USL playoffs presented by Terminex in November. The top teams battling for the ultimate prize. USLChampionship.com has all the info. But all the info tonight that you need to know is it's a 24th win for Lou City, matching the single season record. Louisville wins it 4-1. For my partner tonight, Gary Bailey, and our entire crew, it's been great having you with us tonight. I'm Michael Watring. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.